So welcome everybody. This is the 43rd book that we are reading together. And the book this time is The White Tiger by Aravind Adiga. So I'm going to share screen and let's get into the presentation for today. As I mentioned, so we are going to do some little things which are going to be fun. So you could scan this QR code and join in, or just go into menti.com, which would open a screen like this. And then you could just put in this code 54081037. Meanwhile, let's begin. Yeah. So what we are going to do today is I'm going to just have a few fun things. We'll speak about the author and, of course, about The White Tiger. We'll discuss a little bit about the literary style of the book and the themes. And he's filled the books with a lot of symbols. So we'll talk about that. We'll discuss a few questions and look at the interesting quotes from this book. So I'm going to be going back to um, the menti.com page, the presentation. And so this is the first thing. So how would you rate the book? So you could just click and let us know. How would you rate the book? Okay, good but disturbing. We have one vote. So others also, you can feel free to do this. Okay, good but disturbing. 2 votes for it. I hope you're not having, please feel free to unmute and tell me in case you're having any difficulty with logging into menti.com also. Okay, did not like it. Okay, so, okay, that's interesting. Let's go to the next one. So if you had to describe the white tiger in one word, what would that be? You can just type your response. Okay. Okay. Unhappy and unsettling. Greedy. Greedy is actually,
Disturbing.
yeah, disturbing, definitely. Greedy, again, I think a lot of greedy is there, the both in the rich and in the poor, but I don't know how do we exactly see it. Yeah. Discontented, unsettling, insightful, interesting. Wow, great. Okay. Now coming back to the presentation. So Aravind Adiga was born in Chennai. He grew up and he studied at Mangalore. He immigrated with his family to Sydney. Then he moved to New York, where he was working as a journalist. And then from New York, he moved to New Delhi to be the South Asia correspondent for the time. And later on, he quit his job to pursue full-time writing. And that was when he moved to Mumbai. So he's had a very interesting journey, I think, across various continents. And um, again, I'm going to get back to the Menti. I have a few, this is an interesting quiz. So I have something interesting for you all. So just go back to using the same menti.com, same code. So can you guess which was the year in which The White Tiger was released? When did the book come out?
Actually, I checked, so I'm
Uh,
refraining.
it's okay. You can still answer. No problem. We'll give it to you. It's good that you checked. You took the effort to check. So it's okay. Okay. Any other guesses? Any other answers? Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. So, Tulika, you want to tell the answer? Okay, it's 2008.
I'm muted. I didn't realize
Oh,
it.
okay,
Sorry.
okay. No
I
problem.
was talking happily.
Okay. Another question. So, how old was Aravind Adiga when he won the Booker Prize?
Also, I checked, so I'm shut up. When he wrote
Tulika
the book.
told me. Tulika
Ah,
told me. So I will also keep quiet.
Any other guesses? Okay. So someone else's answer is coming in. It's gone out. Okay. Let me go to the next one. Okay. So answer fast to get more points. Okay. Aravind Adiga is the dash Indian-born author to win the prize. I mean, win the Booker Prize. Any idea? Okay. We have one answer. Any more? Any more guesses? Okay, I'm going to go to the next question. Okay. Very nice. Someone has done a lot of research, huh, Tulika?
yeah, when I liked it, so I thought like, and there was something that were very time specific, so I wanted to kind of
Okay.
check.
Good, good, very nice. Okay, all correct answers. Okay. So Aravind Adiga interviewed somebody who would later become the US president. So he was a finance journalist at that time when he did the interview. So if you know the answer, you can just type it in your screen.
This I don't know.
The full name. So this interview happened in 2003. And he was a finance journalist at that time. So probably that can give you that's the clue for you. Okay, correct answer is Donald Trump.
Interesting.
Okay. So with this, that's it, the quiz about the author. We'll go back to the presentation. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Shows the code, right? Yeah, we can see.
Okay.
Yeah, we can
Now,
see.
okay, you could see me. I think it's kind of got paused. Okay. It looks like my screen sharing has paused. You can't see the next thing, right? After the QR code.
No.
Okay. Let
No,
me.
we can see the code written. Now we can see you.
Okay. Let me just share it once again. Probably I did a lot of jumping between screens and. Okay. Now it's fine. You can see about the author, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So The White Tiger, which came out in 2008, was his debut novel. He won the 40th Booker Prize for it. And Aravind Adiga was only 33 at the time. He was the second youngest writer, as well as the fourth debut writer to win the Booker Prize. He's also written the books, apart from The White Tiger, he's also written Between the Assassinations, Last Man in the Tower, Selection Day, and Amnesty. I have read Last Man in the Tower, and it is a fantastic read. Has anyone else read it?
Yeah, even I have read Last Man in that Hour.
It's
Yeah,
such a chilling read, no, Suchi?
yeah, I have read that.
So, and it felt so true to the Mumbai real estate.
Exactly. The
So,
real estate
yeah,
mafia, it is
yeah,
very well.
exactly. Very, very
Uh,
well written, actually.
yeah.
So about the White Tiger, Adiga says his novel attempts to catch the voice of the men you meet as you travel through India, the voice of the colossal underclass. So according to Adiga, the exigence for the White Tiger was to capture the unspoken voice of people from the darkness, that is the impoverished areas of rural India. And he wanted to do so without sentimentality or portraying them as mirthless, humorless weaklings, as what they are usually shown in in books or in media. And I think that what he wanted to do, I think he's done it really well. The book serves both as a satire and as a social commentary. It draws attention to India's economic rise, and it also contrasts it with China's. Another interesting thing is how he's filled the entire book with dark humor, especially when how Balram talks about servitude, corruption, and also about murder. He sarcastically calls India the world's greatest democracy while exposing how money and power actually dominates everything. So while Balram presents himself as an intelligent, self-made man, he's actually a very unreliable narrator who justifies his crime. So his confession is also full of contradictions and moral dilemmas. It in fact leaves the reader questioning if he's truly a hero or if he's just another corrupt man. I hope this is not annoying and I hope you're enjoying this. So I have one more quiz for you. So you could once again go to menti.com, use the same code. So the entire novel is written as a letter to the Chinese premier, Wen Jiabao. So which makes this an dash narrative. What is a term used? So you can just type it. What do you call a novel which is written in the form of a letter?
Can't type, but I know.
I
Why can't I type? I don't know. I go 08037. Oh.
I was tongue-tied with the spelling for some time.
I found it when I read Guernsey.
Right. We've heard the word, but sometimes it just doesn't strike.
Oh, it says you didn't vote in time. Yeah.
Okay. So who's Frosty, by the way? And who's Mars? I don't know. So Frosty is won the quiz. Very nice. Congratulations. Okay, so I'm going back to the presentation. So some of the themes in this book, we're just exploring a few of the themes which we can find in the White Tiger. Social class and the rooster coup. So the novel critiques India's rigid class system where the rich keep exploiting the poor. And Balram compares the servants to roosters in a butcher's shop, trapped in their condition, too afraid to escape. Uh, they don't do anything against their employers because of the fear. And even when Balram gains wealth, the novel questions whether he has truly escaped or just moved into another corrupt system. And corruption and what is the cost of succeeding in modern India. So the book presents India's elite as corrupt, where bribes determine business success and the politicians serve the highest bidder. Now, Balram himself participates in corruption, stealing, lying, and murdering to rise in the world. So his journey shows how power in India is built on unethical foundations. Now, this might not be something which we want to hear, but we cannot deny that it's not the truth. And capitalism and the new India. So the book portrays India as a rising economic power, but one where extreme wealth and poverty coexist. So Balram idealizes entrepreneurs, but his version of success is built on crime. So the novel asks whether capitalism actually provides equal opportunities or if it's just another trap. And one interesting things, though not very directly related to the book, was where I was reading about how in the 90s, till the 90s, the education system in India was mostly based on your government schools and, the government sponsored schools probably, or something which is run by the church. And it was after the 90s where private sector entered into the education industry in a big way. And if you trace back and you see, there has been more cases of people being able to escape their poverty through education before the 90s. But once the privatization of education has begun, it has not been actually what it should have been. So it's completely been commercialized, and there is no easy way, at least for someone who's poor, to rise himself up only through a government school or a government sponsored education. Unless and until he has the money to pay for a private school or pay for some private tuitions or something, it's very difficult for him to break out of the system using education, which is something we see in the book also. But in the book, we are shown how the granny stops him from getting educated. But even otherwise, even if they do get educated, it's just not the same. And freedom versus servitude. So the novel constantly contrasts those who serve and those who rule. So servants like Balram are just treated like property, and they're expected to be loyal even to abusive masters. So Balram kills his master to escape servitude, but does that truly make him free? And also, it was such a taken for granted moment for them when they asked him to sign the paper and accept that he is the one who ran over the child on the street. So they didn't ask him if he's okay with it. They didn't tell him that we're going to pay you this much of money for this, or they didn't tell him we are going to pay your family this much of money for doing this. So that felt a very disturbing thing. Did you feel that too? Did all of you feel that too?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Another thing was darkness and light. So they divide India metaphorically into darkness, which is the poverty-ridden rural areas, and light, which is all the urban success. And Balram keeps seeing all the malls with their glowing lights 24/7, and while his village doesn't have electricity. So Balram's journey from his village to Bangalore is framed as a transition from darkness to enlightenment. However, and the novel also questions whether light, the wealth, power, etc., is actually truly better, or is it just a different kind of corruption? And another interesting theme which is presented is family and loyalty. So we see family both as a source of strength and as oppression. And it is not just for the poor, but also for the rich. So we see how his master definitely, he wants to do something by himself. He wants to go to Bangalore. He wants to do his own startup. And however, he's oppressed by his family. He's not allowed to do it. He's not allowed to go back to America too. So Balram deeply resents how his family controls his life and how expectations keep him tied to servitude. So he ultimately abandons his family, knowing they will be punished for his crime. And again, that was very disturbing to see that he actually didn't worry that they will be punished for his crime, So again, there is an illusion of morality. The novel challenges the traditional morality. So Balram believes all of the conventional ideas of right and wrong, and he He also feels that those are conventional ideas of right and wrong, however, cannot apply if he wants to succeed. So he argues that true success requires breaking the rules. So it raises the question whether morality is a luxury only the rich can afford. And are they actually doing it also? Even for them, what does morality really mean for them too? As I mentioned, education is presented as a very false promise. So he is a bright student, but he had to drop out because his family needed money. So real education in the novel comes from experience, actually. So Balram observes people, he's in the tea shops and also the rich people. He keeps looking at people in the streets and all that. He doesn't really get an education otherwise. Okay. So another I'm going to ask you to go back to menti.com once again. Okay. So there are many symbolisms used in the book. So how many did you spot? You can just choose. If you choose all also, it's fine. You don't need to choose just one. You can choose whatever you found in the book. Is my screen sharing paused once again? Oh,
It
okay.
just says go to Menti.
That's what. It's not getting resumed. Let me just stop it and once again share. Sorry. So each time I change the thing, it's, yeah, now you can see, right?
We can.
Yeah. The entire book was filled with metaphors and symbols. It was a very interesting thing to spot. So, okay. So I think the highest votes have been for the rooster coop chandeliers. Of course, chandeliers mean the light, and the white tiger itself, darkness, okay. And okay, nobody thought about the broken Buddha statue. So Buddha basically means the broken Buddha statue comes towards the end. And basically, what does Buddha symbolize? He means peace, he symbolizes goodness. And that is what he wants to show the author, that goodness and peace and you know, that has been destroyed and it's no longer there in Balram and, you know, in what was happening in the book too. The red bag, again, that was a symbol of the corruption. So wherever the red bag kept going, you know, where all those, it was a symbol of power in a way and symbol of how money can buy anything.
The water buffalo was very interesting for me. I mean, they were all suffering, but the water buffalo was being looked after very well.
Yeah. And I think that is also, you know, it shows how the livestock, in fact, are so much more precious than even the human lives of those who are in that place.
What was Black Fort?
Black Fort was the place where, you know, he would go and he would look at it. It used to be there high up in his village. And there are scenes of him, you know, wanting to go up, wanting to go and explore it. So basically, the Black Fort means like a higher ambition kind of a thing.
Uh-huh.
And you have that scene where after he achieves, he goes and sees the Black Fort, and then he goes and he spits down. So that's a symbolism of spitting at his past. So,
Okay.
okay. So that was nice. Anybody else wants to share anything? Okay, I'll go to the next one. Okay. So menti.com is done. I hope you liked it. Okay. So this is just feel free to unmute yourself and share. So which symbol actually stood out to you the most and why?
The rooster coop.
I think again my screen share has stopped. One second. The rooster coop. No, yeah, I think that was really, really something. Would you like to share anything more about it?
No, I mean, it's kind of the helplessness
Mm,
of the masses. Like, that is how it is. Like, you don't know
mm,
how to get out of it. Many a times, even every person is in their own rooster coop. Like, people who are kind of in their jobs and they're running, even the so-called techies who are working 24/7 and all. I mean, each person is in their own way. I mean, it is very difficult to break free. That
mm.
is the thing, not just him.
Yeah.
And again, he has, in a way, you can say, he's gone to Bangalore and he's doing something, but still,
Mm.
he's he's not free. That is what it is, basically.
True, very true.
I think the way he described the three landlords, this Stark and this thing, that was like initially I was like, why is he comparing him like this? But then, like by the time you get to the middle of the book, you're like, okay, it's making sense now. This is how he's thinking, how the people in the darkness think about them. So it's quite funny. But the red bag was very interesting, right? Because it symbolizes this. In the beginning, obviously, it's the bag in which the money is being exchanged, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like that red bag. He keeps talking about it, and then you realize that he's looking to it as his ticket out or something, right? Ek
Mm.
red bag, one red bag, and he can change
Correct.
his life, right?
Mm. True, very true. Yeah. But again, I think he has been he has been able to change his life, but not everyone who runs away with something like this has been able to change their life. So I was just reading the other day of how most people who win the lottery end up bankrupt, end up on the streets like within a couple of years. So uh, easy come, easy go also is what usually happens. I think he's been a white tiger in that, I guess. Yeah, Tulika.
No, that's right. Same thing. Like KBC also, people who win, they just end up where they began. So
Yeah. There was something about a person, no? He won in KBC only, I think. And then he
the
ended up
first
once
winner,
again.
yeah,
Yeah.
was Crorepati. Yeah.
Correct, correct, correct. I think that's a very true thing about the white tigers. So here are some quotes from the book. I was looking for the key for years, but the door was always open. See, the poor dream all their lives of getting enough to eat and looking like the rich. And what do the rich dream of? Losing weight and looking like the poor. I thought this was so funny. So true and so funny. You ask, are you a man or a demon? Demon. Neither, I say. I have woken up, and the rest of you are sleeping. And that is the only difference between us.
This is a very nice quote, this Damon one.
Mm.
I liked it.
Hmm. Yeah. The trustworthiness of servants is the basis of the entire Indian economy. And I thought this was so true, so true. Oh my God. We can't imagine our everyday lives without them, I guess. And I don't know what that makes us. Not sure. Do you agree, Tulika?
No, yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It kind of makes you question your help, right?
Yeah.
Then it seems like people who we've known for a long time,
Hmm.
you wonder, am I an Ashok? What are they thinking? It's a very unsettling book in that sense.
Yeah, it's a very unsettling book to
Because we
read.
depend on them so much all the time and we share so much with them,
Yeah,
as in emotionally and
true.
whatever. So that it kind of scared me a little bit. This is what they're thinking. Oh my God.
I know. In fact, like I saw this more in Singapore when we were living there. So because there the usually the helpers are people who come from other countries,
Hmm.
mostly Indonesia and you know and a lot of other nearby places.
Hmm.
So they live with you in your house, and there's no choice. You have to keep them in your house if you're going to keep a helper.
Hmm.
And I used to see so much of, weird things happening all around me over there. And
Hmm.
most of the times it would be happening with a child who is in a crib, or a
Ah.
small toddler. And
Hmm.
always I used to keep thinking of the same thing. Thank God my children have grown up.
Older, I know. It's scary when you think about it.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was worse in this book because not for one moment do you feel, only later on he starts getting, otherwise he's always like, you are my mother and my father. No, I don't want any money.
yeah,
That veneer never shifts. It never falls, the look that he's putting out.
correct,
So,
correct.
No, they might say you are my mother and father, Tulika, but then it is only human to have that extreme resentment. I mean, what do you mean? When they see the things, the material things you have, so I mean, it is not possible. It is very natural that they will resent.
but Suchit, it's very hard to live like that, then thinking that all my helps are resenting me all the time. Do you?
Yeah,
I don't have that thought. I never. I really hope they don't resent me.
yeah,
I
But
feel the switch happens with him when they ask him to sign the papers and take the entire blame.
Ah,
I
that's a
think somewhere
possibility.
that is where the switch flips and
Hmm.
starts thinking for himself.
yeah,
Though it's
True,
absolutely.
true,
corruption
true.
Yeah.
at the end
Yeah,
of the day,
correct.
Because
but
that is
still, I think
something
that
is
is
been,
where it starts changing. That okay, they are not always thinking of my
Yeah, right, right.
welfare.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
yeah. And also, I think where he decides to change the driver, right?
Ha, that is again another, I mean, that is the
Hmm.
second switch.
That's
That
the
is,
tipping point, I think.
yeah.
Is like, it's now or never. Either I do it now or I'll never be able to get another
I mean,
opportunity.
he must have felt very let down, no? Like, in spite of doing so much, now they just want another servant. Like, and
Mm.
behind his back,
Mm.
they were kind of, he could have just told him that's something, I don't know, but I mean, that is really wrong. Even,
Actually, he
Yeah.
doesn't even listen to that whole conversation.
ha,
Mm.
That's another. Were they actually talking about? I mean, they would have been, but
Yeah.
he just hears driver change. He doesn't hear
Mm.
the whole conversation. So a lot of it, we are just taking his point of view. Like that's the only point of view we have.
no,
Yeah.
no, no. He meets, you see that the day he
Ah,
is with
he
Dharam, he
meets
sees
another
that
man.
another person who is coming and
That's
talking to
there. That's
Ashok and
there.
all that.
Yeah.
But you don't
Yeah.
know if that other person is
Exactly. I
actually a
always
driver,
I
right?
doubt whether
Yeah.
this is, did he actually mean it?
Mm.
No, I
You don't
believe
even know.
completely. Ashok,
You
I
don't
have
like the show.
But
no
but
doubt. Yeah.
but 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 if you think about it, it is so absolutely stupid on the part of Ashok. Like this guy knows something about you that is really very, very damaging, and you are like
Exactly.
thinking
Yeah.
you're going to replace him like replacing a refrigerator or something. Like, come on, man. एक
Mm.
थोड़ा तो अक्ल
But
है क्या तुम्हारे पास?
no, but who is going to believe a driver? That is the problem. No, again, I mean,
Yeah.
he is just, he can always say, "Oh, I kicked him out. That's why he's bad mouthing me." So how does it matter?
I agree,
So,
but that's still
huh.
not the risk you want to take. I
Correct.
mean, like see again. The whole point is now he's even his wife has left him. So the person who is on the hook is also. I mean, I get
Huh.
that, right?
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
if he had still been married to Pinky, he would have thought harder.
Huh.
But it still feels like even if you're going to do that, you will do it in a. I mean, the right way would be to try to offer him a job back in the village or something.
Yeah, exactly. Or
Get
give
rid
him
of him
some,
in a diplomatic
huh,
way.
in a diplomatic way. Exactly. That's true.
It, it's the girlfriend who suggests, right?
Yeah.
We're
Uma.
still rooting for
Yes,
Little Bit
yes.
for a
Yeah.
show. Maybe he didn't really want to change because he would have thought of all this. It's she
Mhm.
who wants him to change, the driver.
Yeah.
Huh.
I felt that, maybe like what Percy's telling just now when he said, I feel that maybe because he knows too much, he doesn't want to keep him around. That
Oh,
could
Huh.
also be a reason.
hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said,
Perhaps he never feared that, there'd be a backlash from the driver because his entire family is under their control. And
Mm.
the
Ah,
welfare of the entire family of Balram is under their control. So he
yeah.
probably never felt that there will be a backlash even if they let him go. So
Mm.
that could
true,
also be
true,
a
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
point.
Is it
No,
ever explicitly said what happens to Balram's family, or it's just to be assumed?
it's just to be
They
assumed.
assume.
Yes, it's to be assumed
There's
because
one
he
guy.
says, I've never looked back to see what's happened to
No, there
them, and
was
whether
some
they're
news
still there.
item, no?
But he
Yeah.
17
doesn't
people
listen to
were
it.
killed.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
Okay, okay.
He doesn't
Huh.
listen to the new app. And also, there's a bit where
Okay.
what's that? His nephew's name?
Dharam.
Sorry,
Dharma or Dharam, something.
Dharam.
Huh.
So
Mm.
he also like knows that something has happened to the family because of him. There's one right at the end. There's one line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is one line there.
Huh.
He also says, there will be a day when he'll ask, couldn't you at least told mother,
Save my
called up
mother.
and
Ask
told my
my
mother?
mother to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
That so we
Till
know.
that time, he's happy with the money and the ice cream, I think.
Mm.
Huh.
Milk and ice cream. Yeah.
Yeah. Yet, even if all my chandeliers come crashing down to the floor, even if they throw me in jail and have all the other prisoners dip their beaks into me, even if they make me walk the wooden stairs to the hangman's noose, I'll never say I made a mistake that night in Delhi when I slit my master's throat.
Yeah.
Comes towards the end.
That's
I
the thing. He almost makes you, as in, sort of justifies what he like. He says, even if my family, they would probably be glad that at least one person made it out of the darkness, so to say.
Mm.
So he kind of justifies it, even if something has happened, even if they've all been killed, it is still kind of worth it in his eyes, of course,
Mm.
that he kind of made it out of it. So that. Also, why I looked up which year, there were some things which were like, he had never seen a woman in pants. How? I mean, that is the only reason I went and saw when was it? When it's 2008. How he's like when he sees Pinky, that's
Mm.
the first thing. He's like, I've never seen a girl like that. Like, 2008 is like, I mean, for me, my ripe old years, I still think it's recent.
Yeah, maybe because he means in the village.
When in the, maybe, I don't know. That was a bit of a thing. I think,
True.
I don't know.
Also, one more thing was just another question which I wanted to put out was, so there was such a hue and cry when Pinky ran over the child, right?
Hmm.
But if you see, contrast it with how his granny behaves when she is told that he ran over a child and that they are going to make him sign a confession for it. It feels really somewhat very sad and very, I don't know, what is her thoughts towards the family? What does she really feel towards him?
She doesn't. I think she's happy that they are kind of compensating them, right?
Yeah.
But there is nowhere anything mentioned about a compensation.
One second, yeah.
So she might have even, it looks like she might have even been happy if she was given a few thousands and told, we are going to ask your son, like your grandson.
Yeah, I think she
Yeah,
received
that's
some
the
money.
thing.
I
Yeah,
think
she
so.
does.
Mm,
Huh.
Yeah, she
yeah.
does get something.
But nothing is given to this guy. And
No, no.
yeah, nothing. No. And the worst part was when he's actually, there has been no complaint and he's actually let go and they don't even inform that to him.
They don't
Huh.
bother to inform him.
Yeah, so that felt really sad and it felt really disturbing. At least they could have made that one thing to do, tell him at least and make him feel a little at peace. That felt very sad.
They're basically not bothered what
Hmm.
he's going through. That is the thing. He's just,
Hmm.
I mean, he's just like, they treat him like it's
Like a
like,
king.
that,
They can use and
ha.
there is
Yeah, I
a
mean, I
line
think
where
that is there to show how how much they are dehumanizing the
Hmm.
servant
Huh.
class, right? Basically.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
one place where the mongoose, he hits him on his head when he's washing that person's stork's feet, and then he's saying, "Why are you hitting him?" And saying, "They expect it from us. They respect
Huh.
us for it." Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's how they think about it,
Mm.
about these people. That's
Yeah. That's what.
the
It's quite, yeah.
in the movie also. I don't know whether I just saw some part of it. He puts out his hand, Ashok, and
Mm.
then like, "What are you doing?" Like he says, "I'm Ashok" to the
Yeah,
driver.
yeah, yeah,
Huh,
yeah.
huh.
What are you doing?
I know. In the movie, I think it's not so thing in the book, but in the movie also that scene where who she says, "Why have you not even told him that now he's let off and he doesn't have to worry about it?"
Hmm.
So he just sighs in relief and he just places his head on the knee of the mongoose,
Okay.
and immediately he just kicks him.
Oh, I hadn't reached that far in the movie.
So that doesn't come in the book. In the book, I think he hits him or something. He doesn't. They don't show him kicking him,
Hmm.
and they don't show her attacking the father-in-law. So again, in the movie, immediately she gets so angry and she starts attacking the father-in-law
Oh, okay, 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 okay.
so that was also, I think, very. I guess they wanted to show a little more drama.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Um.
It's good.
So again, another interesting quote. So, do we loathe our masters behind a facade of love, or,
Hmm.
or do we love them behind a facade of
Right.
loathing?
Hmm.
Really scary. The future of the world lies with the yellow man and the brown man. Now that our erstwhile master, the white-skinned man, has wasted himself through buggery, cell phone usage, and drug abuse. This was so funny. I think in 2008, probably the cell phone usage was not so much there among the
Exactly.
yellow man and brown man, I guess.
Now we are all there.
Now we are also in the same path. So,
This book was so non-woke, right? The way he talks, it made me like cringe. My children would read it, they'd freak. The way he talks about Muslims and yellow and white and oh my,
yeah.
it's like a whole
But that's how they talk, right? Like even in
yeah.
Mumbai, if you see the working class, the way they talk,
Even now,
yeah,
it's really two Indias. Because here,
yeah,
if
yeah,
I even, well, if anybody would mention these words, it's
yeah,
just so,
yeah. So one of the things my maids are perennially worried about, and which they keep asking me to change, is my hair. So
why?
how can you have a curly hair? It's not nice. You have to go and straighten it, you
Oh,
know?
man.
So like everything else is okay, but why is your hair like this? Why can't you do something?
I don't think now it can such a, well, people can say these things in books now.
Yeah.
There's so much cancel culture. It was so odd to like read Negro and all. He's saying Khulle aam. I was like,
Ha, ha, ha. And these are also terms which I've seen them use, calling these Chinese
"Huh?
as yellow people.
Oh
And
God.
yeah. So it's really funny to see the way they talk they have all this.
Oh.
But isn't it likely that everyone in this world has killed someone or the other on their way to the top? All I wanted was a chance to be a man, and for that, one murder is enough. Again, I don't know how far this is true. I don't really stand by what he's telling. I don't know. At least I feel so, but I don't know.
Maybe not murder in the actual
Actual
of
sense.
it,
Yeah.
yeah.
But even otherwise also, Tulika, not
Not
necessarily.
necessary. Not
I
not.
don't know. I was thinking
But
with the college, when you take an admission, are you stamping on someone else's chance of getting is that like, I was trying to think of a lot of
ah,
scenarios.
that's
Yeah.
the only way that I thought that maybe,
Yeah.
but still.
Hmm. So entrepreneurs are made from half-baked clay. Free people don't know the value of freedom.
That's
That's the
true.
problem.
Yeah,
100%
that's very
true.
true. This is
Very,
very true.
yeah.
So true.
To sum up, in the old days, there were 1,000 castes and destinies in India. these days there are just two castes, men with big bellies and men with small bellies, and only two destinies: eat or get eaten up.
This was
And
also
the funniest part was when I was reading this particular sentence in the book, it was the same time I was watching Black Warrant on TV. Has anyone watched it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
good.
So there's a dialogue which is exactly the similar to this, which comes over there, where he describes the people in the jail, and he says,
Jail, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
he says earlier there were so many castes and everything. Nowadays in the jail, all that is not there. There's only two things: either you have money or your person
You don't have.
doesn't have money.
Yeah.
That's it. So these were some of the references. There were still lots more of quotes, but I thought we might not have time, so I didn't put them all up. I hope you enjoyed the quiz.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Yes, it was very interesting
Oh,
to
great.
be a part of this.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Glad you liked it.
Yeah, awesome.
So the next book is There Are Rivers in the Sky. So we were talking about what to choose in the last time itself. We had been discussing about Elif Shafak's. We wanted to choose any one book from hers. So, and then finally it kind of zeroed in on There Are Rivers in the Sky. I think Tulika's recently read it. What
Yeah,
about you,
I read
Suchi?
it.
You've read it too?
No, I haven't. Tulika
Oh,
is asking me to read it now.
okay.
I told her, read it.
Yeah, it's a absolutely fantastic read. I completely loved it.
I
So,
have thoughts,
yeah.
so I'll save them up.
Oh, great. So I can't wait to discuss it with all of you next time. Percy, you should read it too. I'm very sure you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, who's the author? Let me see if it's there in my
Elif
library.
Shafaq,
Shafak.
Elif Shafaq.
Ali Shaffer. Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah,
Library में होगा तो I'll try to read.
yeah. I'll put it here. There are rivers in the sky. Sorry if my keyboard is very noisy. I like to have something which sounds like a
You have one of
typewriter.
those mechanical keyboard thing.
Yeah.
I was looking for it last time. I was buying a
Okay.
keyboard, but I think I ended up going with a normal one only.
Oh, I kind of like that clickety sound when I type something.
Yeah, I know. It's cool. It's very
It's
cool.
cool, yeah. So I put the name of the book and the author in the group chat. Okay. Okay, Jaya, I hope you enjoyed it. Jaya, you have joined us for the first time.
Yes, I really enjoyed the session, and it's so nice to hear all your views and have revisit those quotes, very interesting quotes, and the characters and symbols of the book. So, yeah, it was nice to go through all that. Thank you.
I always my mom joins in, but I never ask her anything. So I don't know if she's still there online. Would you like to share anything, Mom? Half the time she's usually with some other grandkid also on the lap. So she's like, if I unmute myself, it's going to be noisy, so I will not. And the grandkids are usually very happy to see the Archana on screen. Auntie is on screen. So yeah. Okay, so let's wrap it up this time then. Please do read There Are Rivers in the Sky. It's going to be fun to discuss. I can't wait to discuss it with all of you. See
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Bye.
thank you.
See you.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.